IKAAÁVIK SIKUKUN, and you pack for ice bridges.
On August 25th, 2018, I followed along with Carson Whitty, Bobby Schaefer, and two of his sons, Vince Schaefer and George Melton, to try to retrieve a mooring tripod that had been out in Kotzebue Sound offshore from Cape Krusenstern for the last year. This tripod has been holding various instruments that record how heat enters and leaves Kotzebue Sound, as well as recording biological processes at the base of the ocean's food chain. Regardless of a failed attempt due to weather in the morning, the crew was finally able to get into position to start searching for the mooring tripod, which was located 60 feet below the surface of the water.
That would be a lot easier. I am taking some ranges on the mooring. I'm sending it acoustic pings, and it's sending some back. And we go circle around and take a couple of different points from different places, and then we can triangulate exactly where the mooring is. So far we've taken 3 ranges on the mooring from 3 different spots on the surface or just below the surface of the ocean. Now I am using all the ranges I just took on the mooring to calculate where it is. These are the coordinates from whence we launched our ranges. I was given them by my GPS in decimal degrees, and I have to convert them to degrees minutes, so that's why it's taking an extra moment.
There should be a buoy right directly in front of us.
We are dropping grappling hooks in the water off the back of the boat, and we know right where the mooring is from all that triangulation we just did. And we're gonna drag these hooks across the bottom and try to catch it. We're going fishing.
Let me know when you feel something. I just got a feeling it's this way, because when we were setting with the wind. You gotta catch something.
I'll try to keep pulling and see how fast you can get it started. There's the buoy. Yeah, let's try to get it on. All right, so it's a big ass anchor, as you guys can see. All right, that's just the flotation. It broke. This is none of the good stuff. Good stuff's coming. Good wildlife. A crabby. Okay, don't clean any of the fouling off. Live animals we can throw back, but like these barnacles and stuff, it's the biologist really wants to see what this comes up with.
It's eating the sea snail.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's sitting here.
So it is. Oh man.
These are basket stars.
Wow, beautiful.
So cool.
Hey, it's Carson calling from the sat phone. Hey, so we went back out this evening and got it. We caught it. We've had a successful day of fishing. We came out here and we used acoustic pings to figure out exactly where the mooring was. And then we dropped 2 hooks off the back of the boat and dragged across that spot over and over again until we managed to grab the line on the bottom. And then we hauled it in. And here's the main bottom-mounted tripod, which came back, as far as we can tell, in full working order. Looking forward to getting the data off of it when we get home.
It was pretty amazing to watch the team combine their navigation and equipment use skills to successfully pull out the mooring. It was also great to allow ourselves a few minutes to check out the frequently sighted large muskox cruising along the shore of Cape Krusenstern on the way back to Kotzebue.
Big old mess. Right now, I'm just downloading data off of all these instruments, so you can see I've got cables plugged in to my laptop. All this data basically just gets communicated from the internal recorders on these instruments over to the computer. And then we save multiple copies of it, and then we start doing some analysis. The goal right now is to get all of the data off of these instruments, take a quick look at it, and see if anything's wrong with it, and then clean both the instruments and the tripod itself, put fresh batteries in all the instruments because the batteries are either dead or close to it because they were designed to be out here for 1 year. If we notice anything in the data that would suggest that we should program the instruments differently this year, then we'll go ahead and do that. If not, if everything looks good, we'll do the same thing. The goal is to put it back in the same place, and that way we have a time series over multiple years in the same location, taking the same kind of data. Okay, come up, then take it back out there and put it back in the ocean.
Last year, about this time, we put the mooring out. We got there, the weather, of course, was pretty crappy, but we were able to deploy it. And then a year later, we were back to retrieve it to get all the information that this thing is supposed to be giving to us. Waiting for the last few days for parts for it. Now, the only window of opportunity because of the incoming weather is right now. If we don't deploy it today, then more than likely it's going to have to wait a week or two because the long-range forecast is our usual fall storms. Other than that, we're just ready to go in the boat, and Carson's got to put his zoot suit on so we can get going.
Because of the favorable weather, the team was able to deploy the mooring tripod in the same location as the year before.
I returned to Kotzebue. It was myself and another grad student in our group named Suki. We went out on a boat with Bobby and Bobby's son Vince. All right, it should. There it is. Woo, man! It was very exciting that the pop-up buoy worked this year. The system we had released a buoy and it popped right to the surface. And the four of us retrieved a tripod, which I had installed the previous year, on the floor of the ocean at the mouth of the Sound. We retrieved that successfully, and all the sensors that were installed on the tripod all worked as expected, and we have a really interesting time series now. Thanks, Wes.
You're welcome.
So we were definitely a bit shocked when we arrived, and it was over 80 degrees, and that was the story the whole time we were there. Everyone we talked to was, oh man, it's so hot, isn't it? It'll be really interesting to look at ocean temperatures. Was it especially warm in the ocean as well during those few weeks or prior to those few weeks?
Back in New York, west of Manhattan, across the George Washington Bridge on the Hudson River, Carson spends time at Lamont-Doherty Earth Observatory of Columbia University analyzing the multiple years of data collected by the mooring tripod in hopes that at the end of the project, we will have a better understanding of Kotzebue Sound.
IKAAÁVIK SIKUKUN, and you back for ice bridges.